Welcome back to another MTGO Modern League with me, Magix, and to the second round with our Mystic Miracles deck. So stay tuned for the grind, and let's go!
Push the goddamn button!
You heard what she said.
So guys, I hope you have time, because this will probably be another long grind, right? After our first run, and I think it was a 4-1, right? I made some changes to the deck. I have cut the, telling time, and the second search for Azcanta for 2 Omen of the Seas. It mainly has the same role as telling time, but you have the upside that you can also use another scry too in the following turn if you don't find the very important Terminus not early on. For example, in very aggressive matchups like elves or something, or humans, where you need fast Termini. Scrying down 4 cards is faster than Search for Azcanta in the earlier turns, and it is, I think, a little bit faster than the telling time, which is nice, of course, because you can keep the Terminus back on top and put away one bad card, but you are then kind of forced to keep sometimes this scrying keeps you in worse positions than if you can directly choose how you want to set up the turns. But on the flip side, Omen of the Seas can trigger miracles in the opponent's turn. So with 3 mana, right, with colorless blue and white, you can use Omen. You see a Terminus in the top 2 cards, and then you can decide if you want to use it immediately. So I think Omen of the Seas has some upside there. And if it stays on the battlefield, maybe you can bounce it with Cryptic later on for some additional value, because then you still draw a card, but you get to look 2 cards deep instead of drawing a random card, right? So it also has some value if it keeps staying in the battlefield. So that's the reasoning why I want to try out these 2 Omen of the Seas. Still like one search for Azcanta, because it can find our finishers with Jace, Teferi, or Entreat, right? So I think 1 is fine enough, and we don't use the graveyard that heavily. I mean, we have Mystic Sanctuary and Snapcaster, of course, but Azcanta will flip eventually. So yeah. Nothing else was changed in the main deck, and in the sideboard I cut one Dovin's Veto, I think, for the Teferi Time Reveler. I just want this Teferi in the sideboard for maybe control mirrors, and I don't see that much other decks where I want the Veto actually, but I do want the second Dispel, because last time we lost in a counter war against the blue-black Urza deck, I think it was, and Dispel can counter these Archmage Charms and Cryptics very nicely, and since in the control mirrors it's now the name of the game to put back your powerful triple blue spells on top of your deck with Sanctuaries, Dispel is very nice to answer this, or of course Teferi to prevent them from casting stuff, while Teferi can also bounce problematic permanents like maybe Blood Moon or something that you have a harder time to deal with otherwise if you can't catch it on the stack. Of course, we also have still our Aether Gust, which can take a Blood Moon, which it did also in the last video. It can counter Titans with, even though they use Cavern of Souls, right, and many other things. You can still bring these 4 cards in against Burn for additional cheaper removal spells. We have 2 more Timelies for Burn, 3 more Ashioks for the Titan decks, and I have exchanged the Surgical Extractions for these Relics. I think I like Relic a little bit more in the more fairer matchups where Surgical is kind of card disadvantage. If you want to prevent even a Ren 6 activation, it feels horrible to use Surgical, whereas Relic can stay on the battlefield, and if you need a card later on, you can cash it in. Yes, it exiles our own graveyard for the Sanctuary Snapcasters and Search for Azcanta, so we have to time it well, but I think it's doable. The upside is, well, yeah, it's another draw effect in the opponent's turn, possibly, so this can trigger Terminus, could come in handy. You never know, and that's the main reason I run Relic over even Rest in Peace right now. Yes, Rest in Peace seems to be good in the meta, but it stops a lot of value in our deck, so I'm hesitant to pull the trigger. And besides Dredge, there is no real hardcore graveyard deck that would be shut down by Rest in Peace entirely. And I still think that alongside Terminus and these 5 hate pieces, you have a winning chance against Dredge. It's not unwinnable, it's not that horrible. If you can keep the graveyard under control, the Planeswalkers will run away. Eventually, you find the Entreat, and sometimes you just win because they don't have any more way to kill you, and they should mill out faster. That is at least how it went down in the last league, where we won even though we never find a Surgical anyways. So yes, sometimes you need the luck, but that's the name of the game. So let's try to find our first opponent and see how the changes will play out. I'm mostly eager to see how Omen of the Sea will perform in this deck, more than some smaller sideboard changes. I think overall the matchups shouldn't shift that much in who is the favorite and who is not. Very aggressive matchups comes down to us finding life gain or quick terminis, right? So if we want to grind, well, we have 4 sanctuaries, 4 Snapcaster Mages, and a lot of card advantage. Obviously, keeping here, we already have 3 islands, a white source, 2 blue sources, so we can cast our entire hand. Some cheap interaction here, bridging us into Archmage's Charm. It's, I think, a very good hand, actually. Let's see how this pans out. Our opponent took a mulligan. Shift the turn back. Cave of Coilos could be like a Death and Texas deck. But then they didn't lead with Aether Vial, which is very good. Because that is the most annoying card in this matchup. Makes their Flicker Wisp very powerful. Good Spell Snare target. Then we have 2 Archmage's Charms up, and I like cashing in an Archmage's Charm next turn, because then we can put it back on top with a Sanctuary. I feel really comfortable right now, because this is a great Terminus matchup, all in all. So yeah, without Vial, they have no other option than playing out in our counters. And it's already pretty strong, and I mean, if they don't keep our graveyard away, if we find a single Termini, each fetch land will be another Terminus. So they are trying to punk us out here, so I will opt in response. Get this in our hand. Try to grab our basic planes. So we're not mana screwed. I think Giver of Runes is fine here. Let's draw some cards first. Let's get rid of this. You can have your land drop back. I like using the Search for Azcanta here, actually, because we still have the Logic Knot up, and if Azcanta flips, it's our route to victory, and I want more land drops here. Charming Prince. I think that one is fine. Don't want to waste my Logic Knot on this in case he has on Sword Knots here or something. Let's see what he is doing. 2 on bottom. Not a strong sign. Nothing else. Well, okay. 3, 6, yeah, 7, sure. Flip this. Well, 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 what do we want? I think Archmage's Charm is the most strongest card here. Ship the turn back and take some damage, no big deal. Now we have Archmage's Charm up. And Logic Knot in the same turn. Yes, that's fine. Thalia. I'll just counter this. 4 is too much, right? We only have to counter for 3, because it's not an Eldrazi spell or anything. So let's use Logic Knot like a mana leak. 3 more cards. Wasteland Strangler. It's not even that much of a deal. I think that's fine. Found a Jace, that's very good actually. Jace will most likely die, but that's perfectly fine. Maybe I should have left up the Archmage's Charm, but if he plays a Solknot Seer, that's not the end of the world here. So yeah, let's put the Terminus back on top. Can also shock this in. If we take 5, we take 5. Jace will die. Then we Termini away his board. Play another Jace maybe. He attacks with both. I'm fine with letting it die. So it was a gain 5 draw card. Sweep away his board for 1. That is actually an annoying move, but we don't search here. We have a Jace and Terminus on top, so who cares? It was just a 1-on-1, 1-for-1 trade because he lost the Ghost Quarter anyways, and yeah, next time we draw a Jace, so we only hold up our counter magic here. There's not a lot he can do. And he does nothing, so another Terminus back on top. Ship the turn. That's fine. Don't care about you. Let's cash this in, because any fetch land we find will be a Terminus anyways. And then we draw away. Infinitely, kind of. Don't need more Snapcasters. Sure. That's also fine. Yeah, let's get rid of the temple. Why not? Let's get more basic islands here. Let's just draw some cards. Let's untap. Draw some more. And we found the Teferi. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 5. Play the Teferi. We only have to hold out for one more turn, right? So I should have fetched afterwards, but whatever. Let's do it like this. So he's kind of locked out now. Sure, don't care. Okay, I don't have to search. I will keep my Terminus on top. You have to deal with it. Okay, so he had 3 Path to Exile in his hand. We don't have to use the Miracle here. No. Let's draw a card. Let's brainstorm. Yeah, we just keep the Terminus on top now. And don't have to do anything here, really. Oh, we can also start to kill him, so that we don't waste Edgemar's time. And you can see it's 7 against 0 cards. We have 2 Planeswalkers on the board, so I like Teferi here, actually. Can bounce back Vial or, yeah, just something else. I think Purge is not good enough, even though he has the man on the boat. Tidehollow Scholar, that is its name. Aether Gust has no targets, Dispel has no targets. Not a fan of Timely. It's too underwhelming most of the times, but I'm also not a fan of Mana Leak and Logic not in this matchup. I think Wasteland Strangler is not a black card, right? Don't think so. Yeah, because of the Void, it's colorless actually, so... Well... Do we have a choice then? There's no use in bringing in Veto over these two, because if they bring in Planeswalkers, doesn't matter if it's uncounterable, and Mana Leak is a little bit easier to cast. Logic Knot also has the upside of being castable against everything. So I think that is fine. Maybe Force is not that great, so we can bring in this against the Tidehollow Scholar, maybe. And we are mostly relying on finding Terminus, of course. So yeah, let's try this. Forcing a Vial is okay, but hopefully we can bounce it with Teferi and stuff. Well, no white source in this hand, and it's scary against Leonine Arbiter, because if you can't fetch out the white source right away, it's not the greatest, and we can't catch it with Logic Knot, so I think I will take a mulligan here. While this hand is poorer on average, at least we have our colored mana sources. So I like this a little bit more. He doesn't have an Aether Vial again. With the Hallowed Fountain we should have all of our mana. Comes the Arbiter. Fountain opt, not bad. Ship the turn back. Double Ghost Quarter, eh? It's scary. So we take our 2 damage here. Do you play something else? Aether Vial, that's okay. So we have to hold up 2 mana here. Next turn we can opt. Let's shove this in for now. Shove the turn back. simply have to make more land drops. Can take control of the vial if he goes all in with these ghost quarters. Rest in peace. Well, I think that's fine. Stops our sanctuaries, but it's not the end. He doesn't attack. Let's use an opt here. This will cost us a land drop, to be honest. Because he still has his ghost quarter up, but the Arbiter is gone. We can fetch again to maybe take his Aether Vial. We still have land drops in hand, so let's exchange a land here. This also keeps him from Thought-Knot Seer if he cracks the land here. Don't need this right now. Jace was also not the greatest. Maybe it was a bad exchange in the end. Then I should have played the field now to get the other blue source actually. It was also not good. Okay, here comes the Scholar. So if he takes the Purge, that's still fine. Can't kill it when it enters the battlefield, because then he still gets the trigger and keeps all his stuff, so... Well, too bad. Now we can't Jace anymore this turn. Have to find another Terminus. Now we can also have a Flicker Wisp. Go to 10 here. Giver of Runes. It's not like I want to path this anyways. Yes, the Logic Knot looks bad in our hand, but with Archmage's Charm we can't counter anyways because of Thalia, I guess, so it's okay. Now, these counters are really awkward. Wow, okay. Well, we still can't Jace. We go to 5 next turn. That was a good move by our opponent. I didn't think about ghost quartering his own land. Okay. Well, he could have a Flicker Wisp on this land to do this again, so don't want to risk it, but we don't draw the Termini. I guess if we do it next turn, we can't prevent the Flicker Wisp in case he has it, but he needs to have it, so yeah, and he had it, so that's okay. Yeah, I think I blew it in the turn where I cashed in the Terminus for the Arbiter. I think that was too greedy in hindsight. So let's try this again. Still not a fan of Force. Maybe the one-off Timely is okay. Entreat is not the greatest, but if we have a Brainstorm, it can steal the game. We have the mana, so this time we have the answer for the Arbiter. So he also keeps 7, it's fine. And he has the Aether Vial. We find a Teferi Time Reveler or something. No, we don't. Giver of Runes. Okay. Nothing else. Let's get rid of this now. Ship the turn back. Could be another giver. That is. Hopefully we can get rid of this with a Terminus or something. Now I can have a Thalia with the Aether Vial, so that Snap Path to Exile is not an answer, nor is Terminus with the Omen. So we have to keep it on top for our turn, I think. What's this? Thought-Knot Seer. Well, at least can answer this with our logic not here. It's a good use of this counterspell. Yeah, here's the Thalia, which I mentioned. Can take one here. then he can't protect the Thalia anymore. Okay, so next turn we will Omen of the Seas and hope to find the Terminus. See if he puts this on 3. Which is the most dangerous use because of the Flicker Wisp stuff. So we go to 14 here. Do you play something else into a sweeper? The answer is yes. So we let this happen and hope to rip Terminus. Two on the bottom. Not a fan of Mana Leak. Well, since we draw immediately, I don't want to risk drawing the Terminus here, so we keep the fetch land. Found a timely reinforcements. It's not the worst, but also not the best, since I kind of want to scry again next turn. I mean, he has the Ghost Quarter open, right? So that makes scrying really awkward. But with Giver of Runes, he can protect most of his stuff. Drowsy Displacer. Well, this is an awkward card. I mean, we don't have to search with the Ghost Quarters, so I guess it's fine. Gets his Charming Prince stuff going, but I think we are now forced to kind of use the Omen of the Seas. We have to find this Terminus. Or we just use some Path to Exiles with the Snapcaster Mage. Path here, path this, and maybe this is a way out, and then use the Entreat. Maybe. The Jace is not good enough. Well, if he has the Flicker Wisp now, that's also not the greatest, so maybe we should have just kept it in the graveyard. Find it anyways. So we need 2 for the pass, snap, and then another 2. Well, the thing is, he can flicker whatever I target here, so that's not good. That's not good. This should remove it from combat at least. So he can use the Displacer once. So if he has still the Flicker Wisp in hand, we are dead. But I mean, not a lot I can do against this, right? So if you have it, you have it. Nothing I can do there. We go to 1. Yeah, okay, we still have a chance now to rip a Terminus maybe into Timely. Well, I draw the Mana Leak really awkwardly. Do we need this Field of Ruin? I don't think so. This will only stall for so much time, because he's still at the Displacer, if he wants to force through damage and stuff. So he can give one of those protection, to even bounce a token or something, so yeah, you can have the Snapcaster if you wish to. Can double blink, of course, so yep. Drawing more lands is not what I want here. Entreat doing nothing because he can bounce the angel tokens, so Mana Leak not doing a lot. Then found the Terminus. Yep. So he has the Flicker Wisp after all now. And we are dead. Yeah, 1 card deeper. Can't look at it now, which would have been the path I put on top, which was wrong, but MTGO doesn't show me the next card, so not sure if it would have been a Terminus or not. But yeah, if you don't find one in the top 16, well, then it gets rough with only 4 spot removals. He had double Giver of Runes and the Displacer. Yeah. Entreat not looking hot there. But again, it was also mainly because of his Aether Vial, which is the scariest card. If they don't have Aether Vial, they can't really do much like in game 1, and I think I misplayed game 2, so rightfully lost this match. Let's see what's next. Scrambled good boy, okay. Okay. Tron, you say? Okay. That's scary. Chalice on 0. So we will have a lot of mana. This indicates to me that he has natural Tron, actually. Yep, like always. Let's hope he doesn't have another follow-up next turn, so that we can enter with the Cryptics. We'll have 10 mana next turn, so if he also has Ulamog... Oh, no. Okay. Don't need Timely. Sure. So he has all the mana in the world. And we have to prevent stop decks. Don't need this right now. This is a really good pickup, so we can counter whatever he plays here. Unless he has an Eldrazi or something. And with Search for Azcanta we can maybe find a win condition. Yeah, we have to counter this one, that's for sure. Bridge Ruin, okay. So we get the Mystic Sanctuary here. Put the Force back on top. Let's counter draw this. Now he can use his Buried Ruins to pick it back up, but now we have the Force too, to get rid of it next turn for good. Yep. Sure. I don't think we need this other Cryptic right now. We have still Deprive up to keep the counters coming. And we can put the other Cryptic back on top with the other Sanctuary, so I think it's fine. So Mystic Forge is gone. Take one here. Nope, didn't attack. Opt is actually fine. Can flip Azcanta. The Cryptic back on top. Yes. And shoot the turn back. Yep. Search node. Remove a search count. Put a charge counter. Can have it. Sure. Sure. Let's take the Cryptic here. Two, three, four. Then we have still Deprive up, so let's grab the Jace. Don't have to entreat here. Let's Jace. Let's draw. Yeah, you have one more turn, I think. Don't care about creatures that much, unless it's a Walking Ballista, I guess. Chalice for 4. Do we care about this Cryptic? Not really. I feel like this is a bait. Don't think the Cryptic is that important right now. That's okay. Sure. So end of turn we could opt and make some angels at least. Snap opt, which is 1, 2 angels. Yeah, that is fast enough. It's a 2-turn clock, so I think that's okay. I should have shuffled back the Cryptic, of course. Sure. "21 mana for 1 card. this a walking ballista? Oh, that is more mana, but we don't care about mana right now. Okay, so cast this. 10 power. Draw 3. I have 1 top deck, and I don't think there's anything that rescues him, but we will see. We can break up Tron here, but I don't think it matters that much. Take on seats. So I like Veto here actually, but besides that, there's not a lot we can do. Don't have Disdainful Stroke. Maybe the Teferi is okay. Force, Spell Snare is okay against Chalice. Not sure about Aether Gust. Maybe Ashiok is fine to prevent the maps, but that's better on the play, I feel like. And it can also get rid of his graveyard. You don't need all the Termini. Maybe like this. It's not a good hand. So take a mulligan. This is better. This can go on the bottom. Sure. Drew the Terminus anyways. Okay. 2 mana. Your Walking Ballista for 1. Could be the Core Tapper. This gives us some breathing room. It's a Core Tapper, okay. Okay. So he has all the mana, but if he only really has 1 threat per turn, it's not the end of the world then. Blast Zone, okay. So this is a Karn most likely. Fleet of Ruin is not the greatest right now. Two, three, 5 mana. Could be another Karn here. Mystic Forge. Well, now we need a counterspell or something. Yeah, but unfortunately, Force is not usable with this shit. That's rough, that's rough. It's really, really rough. So, not sure what we can actually get here. Feels like we are dead against this. something to bounce this. Wow, drawing all these lands is annoying as hell. Yeah, I don't have enough counters, so we die. Well, now we are at least on the play and have a little bit more chances to get to Archmage Shaman Cryptic before he escalates. But yeah, we have to try it like this. Well, at least we have one counter spell in our hands. We have the Omen of the Seas and an opt, so Stony Silence would be really good here, but it's one of the few matchups where you actually want this. Horse is a good pickup. Don't care about Tormod script that much. A Field of Ruin to break up is Tron. Okay. Okay. Need the Terminus, but I like the Jace as a finisher down the line. If we get rid of the tower, he has 4 mana next turn. If we don't get rid of the tower, he has maybe 7, 9, maybe 9. Then he could double Karn, so can't use the opt because I still need a white source, but I think that's okay. Can pitch the opt to the Force of Negation and then have Deprive up. The following turn, wow, he doesn't run basic lands. That's greedy. That's really greedy. 3 mana. Nothing. Let's play this. See if he has a way to deal with the Jace. Sure. Okay. Don't need this. Let's put the Force back on top. I actually like it here. If he cracks this, that's also fine. Okay. So one less artifact for you. Could get rid of another Tron land here. Or at least next turn. Oh, yeah. Sure. Nothing, huh? Okay. Wow, 2 Termini. Still want to keep one in hand just in case. You never know. But he will pump up his Blast Zone most likely to get rid of the Jace. That's okay. Can find another one. And oh, he has a waste actually, and he has it in hand. Okay. You got the first one. Okay. Actually, like logic not here. Ship the turn back. Okay. Stick Forge. Yeah, we have to counter this. And he concedes. Okay. Maybe he had so much mana that it was correct to actually grab the Blast Stone with the Field of the Ruin. And don't care about Tron. Was thinking about some Emrakuls or what have you, but yeah, well. Well, we have Field of Ruin to fix our mana. He doesn't play mono red, so willing to risk it here. So have the opt to find a land. And we are on the play. So let's see. Ventos Fair, okay. Is this the same deck? From another opponent this time. Treat, well, some bad pickups here. That's for sure. Need the white mana right away, but don't get another blue source next turn. This feels already bad. Can't play a Karn yet. He can soon. Druins, sure. Shallows on 1. So our hand is now really dead. At least we found the blue source. On 3. Stops Force of Negation, but that's fine. Need a Jace or something. Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, it's also not that great because of this Chalice on 1, actually. Maybe we have to counter it on 1. He has 1, 3, 6 mana. There is a Stem Mystic Forge again. Now we also have a Dead Force. Figures. Well, putting this on top is bad because can't use it with Snapcaster Mage anymore. I feel like we have to bounce this Chalice on 3. Now we can't because he just replaced it. So... Well, okay. That was a funny move from him, but this enables our force, so he concedes. But I don't think we were out of the wood because our counters are limited. I mean, okay, this also enables Archmage's Charm. But our hand was really shit, so maybe he shouldn't have conceded. Maybe like this. Well, we have the counters. The Entreat is shitty. But we mainly need some land drops here, and then it's good. This can help finding the land drops. He has turn 3 Tron. We have 1 land drop. Found the Sanctuary for the 4th one, perfect. Yep, you have Tron. You have assembled it. Don't want to get rid of this opt yet, so I think we veto this. Well, that is awkward, so I should have used the logic knot, but wasn't thinking about that. Well, so Snap is not that useful anymore, but Sanctuary is still good against the cage, so whatever. Chalice on 3 with 2 mana up. So let's try to find a Cryptic or something here. Let's also find to break up Tron. I think he was searching for this power plant, so let's get rid of this. The snow-covered island, and hope he doesn't have a Karn here, but he has, so let's see what he's searching for. Probably Mystic Forge, right? That's at least my guess. No, liquid metal coating, okay. That is not the end of the world then. So we could play the Teferi here, but then he stops the Teferi with his Karn +1. I mean, what we also could do is fetch the Logic Knot and draw it with the Teferi. No, that also doesn't seem good. If he does this play, we lose the Teferi for one more turn, but it isn't the end of the world, I think, and then we kill his Karn anyways and have the Logic Knot still up. Yeah, I don't hate it, actually. Let him have his coating. Yeah, I don't think we countered this here. Okay, he kills the Sanctuary. That's okay. Do we have to counter this Chalice? I think the answer is no, actually. It's okay. Yeah, we counter this, definitely. Are all the Snapcasters in this world? I want to use my Snapcasters, actually, so getting rid of the cage is a line we could take. Then we still have Snap Logic Knot up and Snap Opt. We could also fetch out another Sanctuary and draw this, so we have it in our hand, but this game is shaping up. I want my Snapcasters actually to do stuff here. He still has no Tron, so Logic Knot should be fine. Yeah, and he concedes. Okay. Was actually the same opponent. So we're doing fine against Dice Factory. And I misplayed first match against Death in Texas, unfortunately. Could have played game 2 better for sure. Especially since we had 2 Jaces in the hand and shuffling them back. The Terminus back on top would be okay. Oh well. Again, it's not the greatest hand, but it's not the fast matchup. This is an okay hand against Titan, actually. Humans. Well, this is a really bad humans hand. Yikes. This is a rather rough matchup if they play Meddling Mage and get Optique. At least he didn't have the Aether Vial, but could be a freebooter here, which is Arcward, could be a Thaliar. Yep, also Arcward. So my plan was actually to grab this later on with the Archmage's Charm, but that is no longer possible. So I think we cash in the Snap as an Ambush Viper here. Get rid of his Cavern and hope to counter something later on. Maybe this makes his mana more awkward, I'm not sure. So here comes the Meddling Mage. This will name Path to Exile or Supreme Verdict, actually. Of those, yeah, Path to Exile. Can't play the Jace next turn. Can draw some cards with the Archmage's Charm, but then we can't Terminus this, so... Let's see if he has a third land drop, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I feared that. And Netflix goes up. So we go to 11 here. We have to Jace next turn. And find the Terminus, actually. But we don't. Ugh. Can create 2 angel tokens, at least, but... doesn't seem that great, but what can you do, right? Feels horrible. That was a very bad brainstorm. Wow. Now the angels won't even do it against the Saliar. 4, 8, 10. Could be dead here. Yeah, we are exactly dead. Timely can also only stall for so long, but these counter spells are really horrible. The Gust can actually catch the Mantis Rider. So like this. Humans, eh? At least he didn't saw a miracle card, so I don't think he will name Terminus yet. Now we have it in our hand, but oh well. I mean, two opts are kind of could be anything, right? So could have a freebooter start. Okay. Yeah, here comes the freebooter. Now he knows about the Terminus. Takes an opt. Oh, you're drawing more lands. Exactly what you want, right? Noble Hierarch. Yep, makes sense. Then Meddling Mage on Terminus, and we are screwed. Gotta take peek. Yep. Oh, need a path to exile here. Hope to survive some turns. Can't use this anymore because of this damn Galactique. Yep. You can see that my hand is all poop. Let's try to find that path to exile. But he even has some redraws. So I don't think we survive 2 turns, to be honest. Can sack this in. And we are dead. Drawn too much lands, so you lose this matchup. Okay, final game. Issue is, if you mulligan these hands, I think you should play another deck, because yeah, you play a lot of high converted mana cost cards, right? So okay, Mountain, then you draw Entreat. Well, I don't think Entreat is really helpful in this deck. Never want to cast it till turn 10 or something like that, and if you are in these turns, I think you don't actually need it to win the game anymore. What is this? Swift Spears, yeah. The Lava Spike. Won't force that. Go to 15, go to 14. Another force. No spell there, okay, that's interesting. Well, let's try to catch that at least. Let's see how many he has. Runaway Steamkin, okay. Now you don't draw the Terminus. Next turn we can hopefully tap and find a Terminus or something. There's 3 more cards. There's a Lava Dart. We have to endure this, but then he can reuse it. So maybe that's not the greatest idea. Oh, this is awkward. Oh, he has another one, sure. So we go to 10, we go to 4, we are to virtual 3. If there's a lightning bolt, a lava spike, we are dead, and we are dead. Don't want the Entreat, I want the relics, Celestial Purge, Dispel, Aether Gust. Not sure about the Veto, but definitely the Timelies. think you still need some Terminus. If he has a very fast creature start. What do we cut here? I think Spell Snare is particularly good. Maybe Relic against Reveler is too cute and too slow. Can't stop Lava Dart, but it's mostly it. Need the finishers, kind of. Maybe with all of this removal, you can cut down a little bit on this stuff. Relic is maybe not good enough. Maybe Azcanta is too slow. Then maybe Omen is also too slow. Oh, we have a timely, but nothing really else. Which is awkward, but also these Field of Ruins are not particularly great in this matchup, I think. And there's a storm going outside. I wonder if you can hear it, but it's really bad. Yeah, we need the blue source in case we draw a triple blue spell, so hopefully this is good with the Sanctuary to put it back on top. Yeah, don't want to force this. But I want to force this. Yes, please. Let's ship the turn back. Don't have to attack here. Just have another timely in hand. Make our land drops and hopefully find something else. Can tank some lightning bolts. Okay. 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 We get hit down below 20. We can cast our other timely reinforcements. So I don't care about taking 4. I'm more concerned about another Blood Moon right now. Yeah, there's another Blood Moon. That's exactly what I meant. And a Bedlam Reveler. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's a lot to grind through. And a Swift Spear. Yikes. Blood Moon crash through. And the Lava Dart still in the graveyard and 4 hand cards. That's brutal here. Really brutal. This is for all creatures. Wow. Need a Terminus next turn, I think. Still has the Blood Moon up. Four, 6. Yeah, I can't block here really. The soldier back for the next turn. Hope he doesn't have another crash through. Or more light up the stages. So 6, 10, 15, 18. With the Lava Dart, it becomes lethal. And he still has the Blood Moon up. Okay. Do we have another bolt? Still has all these mana. Here comes the Blood Moon. And he has still 3 cards in hand. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Even with a Terminus here, we only have 1 white source, so we can't gain life back. Can't use the path, really. Looks bad. Looks really bad. Because he has kind of outgrinded us with all this card draw. Yeah. Six. So Bolt is lethal. And this is after we gained 12 life, that's for sure. Yeah, still the Lava Dart, which puts us to 2. So even with the Terminus, he has so many top decks that are killing us. Yeah. Yeah, and we are dead. Dead in the water against this insane draw. Yeah, well, don't feel like Entreat is that good. Yeah, we misplayed or I misplayed the Death and Texas matchup. So, but besides that, I don't think you can. I mean, if the mono red deck is on the play and has a very good start, it's really rough to beat because your removal is too slow. Path is not that great because it ramps them up and then they reload with Reveler and light up the stages and put so much pressure into play that you can't always rip all the Termini, so that is a matchup where you actually want more removal. Spot removal, I mean. Which is not the case here because you want to sweep up several creatures with Terminus at the same time. And yeah, well, Timely was not that great in this matchup. I mean, Timely alone won't do it against this deck, whereas against Burn it's far better. But I think even Core Firewalker wouldn't have done the job because he had crash throughs. Would probably have gained the same life amount, but against this board it's kind of awkward and you don't want to play the creatures in a deck with Azcanta and Terminus, I guess. And yeah, in the humans matchup, I mean, if they have Gadoctique and can't get rid of it, or they even have some meddling mages on Terminus and Path, you are kind of locked out if you don't have time to bounce something and then untap and try to break out of that prison. And since they are so low to the ground and a Vile deck, most of your counters are bad and you need a lot of answers in a very short time period, so this is also not the greatest matchup, even though you have Terminus, actually, against a creature deck, so still Sanctuary was very good, in my opinion. I have to see what else we can build with this Sanctuary. But yeah, for blue-white, I mean, you could cut this miracle stuff, of course, and just put in some Supreme Verdicts. That won't solve the issue against humans, in my opinion, because here Gadoctique Meddling Mage is still there. Nothing changes in this matchup, and against the one red blitz deck it also won't matter, because here, if you run Terminus or Supreme Verdict, I mean, we were dead by turn 3 literally, so I mean, if we draw the Verdict in this game, we couldn't even cast it because our mana base is too awkward to support double white, to be honest. So including Supreme Verdict would mean that we need at least another basic planes and maybe cut down one Field of Ruin, one Mystic Sanctuary to do so. You could also run another white source or 2 white sources there. But this is another deck where Blood Moon kind of wrecks you if you don't have one of your 5 basic lands, and yeah, he found 2 Blood Moons which we needed to answer, so we had less answers for his other stuff, and then it's spiraled out of control pretty fast, so if this was more spot removal, then I think this matchup is a little bit better. Like, if you go Esper or Jeskai for Bolt or Fatal Push, but, well, do you need this then really? Because then I feel like if you play blue-black, you gain access to Drawn in the Lock, which is actually good because it's not only counter against their Battlefield Reveler stuff, it is also a creature removal. So, and then you can play Fatal Push and still maybe something else. So, yeah, or maybe blue-black is actually better right now. Can't run the Teferi and Celestial Purge. That's mainly it. Instead of timely reinforcements, you can run Collective Brutality, which can at least also kill a creature. And I think it's more important against this mono-red blitz deck to kill their creatures than to countering some of their bolts, because their most broken starts are in combination with some fast 1-drops, runaway Steamkins and what have you, so having more spot removal there is definitely helpful. If you run Band, you still rely on Timely, you don't have additional removal to Path to Exile besides Celestial Purge. You could run Uro then, of course, but Uro only gains 3 life and leaves nothing behind, so Timely is still a little better on turn 3. But you have this late game plan, of course, of getting Uro back into play and repeatedly gain 3 life. Icefang Kotal is not that great against Lava Dart. Weight of Summer won't matter in that matchup. Maybe Weather the Storm could be great, but yeah, not sure. I mean, if you just accept this mono-red blitz deck as a bad matchup, yeah, I mean, there are ways to beat humans if they don't have this lock start somehow, or you have some path with Snapcaster Mage. You can sometimes break out and Terminus gets them. Could of course also play some more spot removal in the sideboard with Oost or Condemn, what have you. Yeah, if humans were the only problem, I think that's fixable. And then you just accept the mono-red matchup as a bad matchup, at least the creature-heavy one. If you face Burn, I think you still have ways to win. They run less creatures, like usually around 12. And yeah, you actually have ways to deal with that. Then you have a lot of counter spells for when they entering top deck mode, which is great. So I don't think Burn is the issue, it's mostly the Blitz deck right now. We won against Tron, or this Dice Factory. So misplayed against Desmond Texas, humans, not configured to beat this right now, but could be done. Didn't face Dredge, so Relic was kind of not used, Ashiok was kind of not used, but that is how it sometimes goes. So yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the second Miracle run. Don't think Entreat is really necessary, it was too awkward most of the times. And if you want another finish here, you could run Secure the Wastes, which is actually castable way earlier. Yes, they are not flying attackers, but you can still use this in the earlier turns, and it scales into the late game. And it can also be reused with the Mystic Sanctuary, so I think if you want this finisher still, besides Jace and Teferi, Secure is a little bit better than Entreat the Angels, at least in this deck and format. Yeah, but that is mainly it. If you want to run Miracles, I think this is the way to go. I mean, the sideboard is always debatable. Maybe cut down one Omen of the Seas, could be anything. Could maybe cut one of these and improve the white sources, but that's mostly it. So, till next time and have a great day. Bye bye.